of all, I want to thank you for this awareness. How important is the awareness part of it? I mean, I'll share my experience. I didn't go through cancer. I went through what you call enlarged prostates. So the symptoms are urinary. So basically, you feel you need to pee all the time. And then it's leakage. And there's all lots of, I mean, it's crazy. But to give you more details, basically, during the day, so my recovery started during the pandemic. During the pandemic, it was my wake-up call. So I had 2 weeks basically to analyze, as Mr. Ferre just said. I Googled everything, but you're not going to Google this problem away. So it's now to admit, Mike, you have a problem. First of all, I wanted to keep it quiet. I'm a businessman. I work 7 days a week. I'm involved in a Lions Club. I'm involved in so many foundations that basically, you know what, I'm helping everybody. Now it's time to help myself. So that was the reality of everything. That's when I met Dr. Rojas. Okay, so we went through the whole process. So basically, to be this, you can consider this a bit embarrassing, whereas basically during the day they need to pee. So from Point Blanche to Kupakoi, I knew where every bathroom was for me to stop and pee. And the bush, like the bus drivers here, you know. And at night you have a bucket next to you. So I would have to get up 6 to 7 times to pee. So now I'm not sleeping. So the next day in the morning I have 3 to 4 cups of coffee, and in the afternoon a bunch of monsters. So now I'm working on a heart attack. So this went on for a while, to the point where, as I said, the pandemic is the one that said, Michael, you have a problem. I'm single, so nobody to push me, nobody, I didn't tell anybody the situation. Through the Lions Club, I was speaking to different members, you went through prostate problems, you find out, you start, so that's why these things are so important, where you can ask questions. Listen, it's a small island, everybody knows everybody, where you can ask. So now the process started, I go see the surgeon, and then you go through the medication process, and finally, Mike, medication don't work, you have to have a surgery. Now a TURP surgery is very invasive. This is something that you can Google it, see what it's all about, but actually doing it is something, my God, I mean, you're on stilts like you're having a baby. You know, you're there, everything's showing, and the doctor has to go through your penis and shave. And of course, once all that is finished, you go through the process. Okay, as you go through depression, erectile issues, anxiety. Luckily, I was single, so I don't have the pressure of somebody who please sexually. So the recovery process took a while. Again, I kept it quiet. The battle was alone. My Lions brothers and sisters were, Mike, you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. One of them saw me having a surgery. So then it got out within the club, but I asked them to keep it within the club. And I was selfish, but I should have told them from before, you can't do this alone. This is a battle you cannot do alone. And thanks to the Lions Club and close friends, you know, you get motivated because you go through deep depression and all these type of things. But thank God we have the surgeon on St. Martin that can do this surgery for you. We have a few surgeons, and Dr. Rojas, actually, we became friends. You know, I would fix his phone and whatnot. So, but the whole thing is that we can do it locally. But now, today, my recovery now, I stopped alcohol, I stopped sugars, I stopped meat. I now do sports again, paddle, that's my new drug of choice. My whole life has changed, you know, away from the bar life, no more carnival, I'm done with that. You know, now, as of this year, now my sleeping habits are back to normal. Now I sleep pretty much all night, and I get up 1 time per night now. So it's amazing. I can sit and cry about this because now I'm resting. It's a total different life for me right now. So that's why I'm happy to sit here and share my experience. Again, feel free to contact me through Facebook. I don't want to say I do. People come up to me, and the men mostly, and I said, if you're in a relationship, I will sit you and your spouse and share my experience.
You brought it back home. Thank you. You brought it back home. The reality is, we don't focus on prevention. That's clear cut across the board. Not only in prostate, in health in general. We don't focus on prevention. I had a discussion today, and that's some of the things that we're actually working on. And upon taking my mantle in the ministry, we realized that prevention is an issue. So we started stuff like the non-communicable disease plan. We are starting to focus more on wellness, diabetes prevention, exercising, hypertension prevention, and these type of things. COVID-19 was not the killer. COVID-19 exacerbated your underlying symptoms and made them the killer. I want us to pay attention to that. Your high blood pressure, your hypertension, whatever you were suffering with, the COVID-19 enhanced that, and that was the killer. We are trying, we are pushing, one day, one step at a time. In the new reforms for the SFE that we are bringing is now to cover preventative measures. That is some of the reasons, and that is what is happening. Some of your GPs, unfortunately, may tell you, and I'm not saying, oh, everyone has their own situation. I have never had that situation, and these good gentlemen have never had the situation. But some may tell you no, because SFA would not cover preventative care, maybe a screening or whatever it may be. So that is something that we know and something that we are adjusting in our insurance system and policy. So we have taken the steps for that. A lot of things, we speak of the bars, we speak of these things, and that is what non-communicable disease plans is. It's to tackle whether it's tobacco issue, whether we will put taxation on alcohol, whether we put taxation on tobacco, and those type of things. That is what we are tackling. CPS is working tirelessly. We started the pandemic preparedness plan, because what we can tell you, if God blesses us to be around another 10 years, we can expect another pandemic, because history shows it appears every 10 years. So these are things that we have started to prepare, and in collaboration with CPS. We also have the Caribbean Wellness Day. We invite everyone to come out where we can discuss more on preventative measures, whether at home, at school, for the youngsters, everyone. So we will continue to move forward and continue to push collectively. The ministry, the organizations, the organizers, and everyone will move collectively. And trust me, any of your concerns, I am not the type of minister to take anything you say personal. I take what you say, I take it back to my staff, and we work based on what you say. And that is why we realized what the problem was. So I just wanted to address that note. To these gentlemen up here, I thank you. You are some of the most dedicated men I have ever seen. Year in, year out. You come, display yourself, your vulnerabilities. You tell your personal issues to the people in hopes that they can too man up. And being vulnerable is part of being a man. You are an example of what that name is about, manliness. And it goes without saying, the lovely organizer of Positive Foundation, thank you. I have worked with you for the past 2 years, and I can say that even since we have started working, we have saw the turnout growing and growing. And I think we were able to save a few lives by these screenings. So thank you. And trust me, I hear your cries, I hear your complaints, and the key problem we have in our society, we go when it's too late. We don't prevent. One of my biggest fears is ever going to the doctor and hearing him say, you came too late. Let us man up, let us check, let us push each other.
Mealtime rules. Don't serve yourself first. Do not eat with your mouth open. Don't rest your elbows on the table. Don't make noise when eating. Does not apply when enjoying KFC buckets. When we bucket together, we are as we really are.
SXM, your social and health insurance. SXM, your social and health insurances.
Are you SXV insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXV is cardless. Request your My SXV account today and enter the virtual office of SXV. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
SXV, yeah, your social and health insurances.
During the hurricane season, a potential tropical cyclone can produce rainfall that can cause flash flooding and rockfalls. Stay away from flood-prone areas during heavy rainfall, such as Jump Up Casino on Emil Plain Road in Phillipsburg, ATLH Road Roundabout, L.B. Scott Road from Emilio Wilson Park until Cake House Supermarket, Zaker's Gut from Petro Plus gas station until the Seventh-day Adventist Church, Welchelaken Road K Hill from Welchelaken Road Roundabout until the One Tete Loke Roundabout, Beacon Hill Road from Sunset Bar and Grill until the beginning of White Sands Road, and Rhine Road, also known as Mullet Bay Road, after Sonesto Maho Beach Hotel to the entrance of Kupakoi from the intersection of the University Drive until the intersection of Rio Grande. For more information on how you can keep yourself and your family safe this hurricane season, visit stmartingolf.org/hurricane. This public service announcement is brought to you by the government of St. Martin.
Inspector Josefa, when it comes to fights in the school, is there a way, or is the police thinking along the lines of giving fines, penalizing the parents, so that they can finally have the talk with their child and to avoid from a second fight, or talking to the school managers, the school boards about what to do, suspend them for whether it's 2 or 3 days, a week or whatever, just to get a grip, so the parent can say, if you fight again, you're going to be thrown out of school. But then we have the truancy problem.
I'll come into that part. Let's talk about truancy. The law is specific, and the police knows that between the age of about to 18, you have to be in school.
Yeah.
It's a double-edged.
It's a catch-22.
It's catch-22 again. I've seen some students who have been sent to 4 different schools. So it always turns someone else's problem.
Wow.
Yeah. So in our community officers research, that's why I gotta give it up to Mr. Richard sometimes. He has to deal with this most of the time. And looking for solutions, knowing the fact that you could suspend him. You could even go as far as putting him out of school. At the end of the story, you have to find a place to put him, because education is a right.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So, and you're asking about putting him out. That's not a solution. If you put him out, he's going to be on the road and he's going to look for something else to do. Idle hands is totally the devil's workshop. So it is difficult, and we still said as a police officer, it should not look at us, because it's not a police problem. I'm still hammering this is a social problem. This is something that the social services has to look into. What can we do to assist the parents for parenting, assist those kids who has nothing, who goes out of the way to injure others taking their stuff, because there have to be some underlying situation of all of these issues that take place.
Let's turn a little bit to another issue that's been going on, the bullying. Community police officers, are they going into the schools or having someone from mental health, having another organization go into the schools and talk to the students about bullying and the consequences of bullying, and just kind of try to figure out how you can, put a cap on it. It's never going to end.
It's never going to end.
It's never going to end, but
Not in the social media era.
yeah, yeah. Oh, you've got your hands full.
Yeah, not in the social media era. And I said again, the same thing about even the 6-year-old. The mere fact that the kids who's on the back of the bus tell her, you ain't coming to sit next to none of us here. It is a form of bullying.
Mhm. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And bullying could go in every term. We've met kids who are not even allowed to come on the bus because the group of them tell them, you ain't coming on here. You got to catch another bus.
Wow. Have you spoken to the bus drivers? How are they handling it?
And that's something, again, that we were trying to partner with, and again, we had everyone on the table with TIATs because the bus services fall partly under them when it comes to the schooling. We spoke to a lot of the managers who coordinates the situation with the buses. We come up with ideas. I'm one of those who's hardcore saying it's about time, since we're in the social media era, let's put cameras on all the buses.
Okay, there you go.
But again,
The
there's
expense.
always an expense.
The expense.
There's somebody have to monitor it. So saying it and making it happen is different. Mr. Richards came out with the idea once, and again, as a community police, together with the school board, everybody have to be going on the bus, have to have a particular tag to go to a certain area.
Yeah, yeah.
But again, is the will there to carry this out? The police will come with 1,000 ideas. But our circular influence is only 20%.
Yeah.
We would love to do something because it is easier to prevent than to prosecute.
Yeah.
Your social and health insurance is your social and health insurance.
Are you SXV insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXV is cardless. Request your My SXV account today and enter the virtual office of SXV. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
Your social and health insurances.
With you, the new Kentaco. A combination that will surprise the most curious palates. Combining the deliciousness of KFC chicken and the practicality of a taco. With a doubly delicious ergonomic shape. Wow! Compatible with all types of bites. New Kentaco. Enjoy a double breaded chicken breast with our secret recipe. Cheese, lettuce, and tomato. New Kentaco, the innovation that's in everyone's mouth.
It's hurricane season. Are you prepared? Here are a few tips to keep in mind to help keep you and your family safe. The Atlantic hurricane season runs from June 1st to November 30th, with the peak occurring between mid-August and late October. This hurricane season, be sure to put together a go bag. A disaster supply kit including a flashlight, batteries, cash, first aid and supplies, medications, and copies of your critical information if you need to evacuate. This public service announcement was brought to you by the government of St. Martin.
The day has been observed in keeping with a decision taken at the inaugural Africa CARICOM Summit on September the 7th, 2021. In his address, acting Prime Minister Dr. William Dugard noted the African Union and CARICOM continue to work together.
Not only have we come together to coordinate our efforts to repair the currently existing international economic and political order and gain for ourselves our rightful place in world affairs, but we've also come together to repair and restructure our own Africa-Caribbean relationship.
Mr. Dugard adds events over the last 2 years have cemented the need for collaboration between the two regions.
I refer to such events as the constantly deepening security, governance, and humanitarian crisis in our Caribbean nation, Haiti, as well as the military coup in the West African nation of Niger, and the deadly and tragic civil wars that have so scarred the nations of Ethiopia and Sudan.
Director of the CSME, Leo Titus Purville, says the relationship between Africa and the Caribbean is already proven fruitful.
As CARICOM celebrates its 50th anniversary this year, it is perhaps fitting that the promising seeds planted over the last 2 years, aimed at deepening economic, social, and cultural ties with Africa, be nurtured with deliberate purpose. Already, the foundation is being laid for access to capital by the private sector through the Afri-Exim Bank. 9 member states have signed partnership agreements with Afri-Exim Bank, which has committed to extending $1.5 billion US dollars, a line of credit of that magnitude, to CARICOM member states.
Meanwhile, founding dean of the Faculty of Culture, Creative and Performing Arts at the University of the West Indies, KPhil, Professor David Akombo, wants countries of Africa and the Caribbean to make deliberate efforts to boost cultural ties among other areas.
I propose the idea of the AU CARICOM Age of Enlightenment, in which a targeted aim should be built a socio-economic, socio-cultural, and a scientific revolution that goes in tandem with the goals already identified or defined by the United Nations. The AU CARICOM Age of Enlightenment should be a period of scientific awakening centered on the interrogation of the drawbacks that impede the quick realization of socio-economic development between Africa and the CARICOM nations. Second, I propose the idea of return to culture.
Professor Akombo says cultural cooperation can have a positive impact on knowledge sharing and the technological and economic development of African and CARICOM countries. Sean Farrell, CBC News.